Welcome. It's time for another edition of Poppy Seeds. We are entering week 12 of the NFL season, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like it's
Yes,
been
it
that
does.
long, but and I was going to say at times it feels even longer.
Man, season goes fast. It goes fast.
Once it gets started.
Man.
Before we delve into the world of the NFL, MLB awards came out this week. Any thoughts, comments about the award winners this week?
I was shocked how many were just unanimous.
Yeah.
Like there was no competition in it.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised with who won any of them.
Oh, no.
But the fact that there were so many unanimous choices surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. The only close vote was the AL Rookie of the Year. I think that was
so.
the only one that was close.
Yeah.
Between Kffl and Kowser from Baltimore.
Oh, I never saw the numbers.
Yeah, but everything else was pretty much over.
Pretty easy to figure out.
It was. And
Yeah.
the thing is, it's been it's the second or third year in a row of all the awards being kind of like, we already know who won.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fun to watch the guys as they were getting their win. I mean, Chris Sale was in his man cave, so he didn't have his family over his shoulder.
Uh-huh.
But you could hear off camera when they realized he had won, this scream from off camera. It was great. The guys in the studio enjoyed it too.
I was happy for Scooble.
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah,
that was nice.
That's great. And Sale's come back from so many injuries and so far down that to come back and win a Cy Young
Nice
when
to
he
see
did
that.
is kind of neat.
Nice
Yeah.
to see. All right, moving into the world of the NFL. Hot off the presses this morning, Daniel Jones released by the Giants.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm surprised. They've talked so many times about him not being very good, and I'm surprised that they're going with DeVito instead of Drew Lock. That surprised me. But Jones isn't going to be out of work for long.
No.
I mean, teams are going to have to pay him the minimum because the Giants paid him a big contract, so they're going to have to pick up most of that money.
Mm-hmm.
But where's he going to end up? Somewhere like Jacksonville
That
or
would be
Carolina.
Carolina would be my guess.
Or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, he's not going to get into a much better situation.
No. I don't know if you saw this, John. I read this last night, this morning, one of the other. Something about yesterday, Dayball in a team meeting went up and took the C right off his jersey. His captain's C right off his jersey and put it on Tim Boyle's jersey. And
Wow.
this is what I guess prompted him to say, I want my release. I'm out of here. I don't know how true that story is,
Wow.
but that's what I read.
That would be, wow, that would be.
I would want out of there too if somebody did that
in a
to me.
heartbeat,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Wow.
Do you think he's going to be one of those guys that a change of scenery is what he needs? I mean, look at what Jameis Winston is doing for Cleveland right now.
He's not doing that much.
But more than he had been.
Yeah, but no, I don't think so for Daniel Jones. I think for him it's all up here, and so it would have to be the right coach combination for that. And I'm just not sure I see that. I think we see him in the backup commercials not too long from now, as he's a backup for
There
somebody.
you go.
I think he's going to stick around, but as a surefire starter for some teams,
Where
I
is he
don't see
gonna
that
land?
happening.
Yeah.
All right. And that brings to mind the idea that there's a few more coaches out there who could be on the hot seat. What do you think?
Well, I think number one for me is Mike McCarthy in Dallas.
Yeah, he's on my list.
I think he's had 4 or 5 seasons now. 3 of the years were good, 12-5 or whatever. And then his first year stunk, and this year they stink. And after all those really disappointing playoff exits for Dallas, I think Jerry Jones is going to be saying, "All right, thanks.
And he's not under contract for next year anyway.
I
is
don't
he?
believe so. I don't think so.
So I think I've got a whole list. There's going to be a lot of openings. But if I'm in charge, there's a lot of openings. But I think Peterson in Jacksonville's in trouble.
That's on my list. Yep,
I
yep.
think he's going to be done.
I think their owner, Shahid Khan, he meddles too much with the team.
Yeah.
And just doesn't let them play. He can't decide if they're going for it or rebuilding, and they keep doing it back and forth. I mean, is Trevor Lawrence the answer? I don't know. They've tried putting good receivers with it, didn't work. Good running backs, didn't work. Defense, didn't work. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, he's on my list too.
I've got Stefanski from Cleveland. He's having another. I mean, I know they won last night, but he's not done a whole lot in Cleveland. I've got Taylor from Cincinnati as being on the hot seat. So just because they haven't come to fruition with him.
All right.
Well, and when you look at Burrow, I saw something on him. He's had, 3 or 4 games over 300 yards passing,
Yeah.
but not winning the games.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do when you have that much offense, but you still can't win the games when you're like that. So there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Pierce in Las Vegas that could be on the hot seat. I think Dable in New York is on the hot seat.
He's on my list. In fact, I think that whole organization needs just a changeover from player development, scouting. I like Dable as a coach, but I think he's kind of worn out his welcome.
Yep. And then I've got Eberflus in Chicago.
I thought of writing him down. I did, but I know they're still in their retooling, rebuilding phase. I mean, I can see it though because they were supposed to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
And they weren't.
Well, and how much of that is organizations getting impatient?
Well,
We see it in baseball all the time too. They don't give it enough time. I mean, new quarterback in Chicago, you got to give them time to grow into that position. Are they going to be jumping the gun if they take Eberflus out of there?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. And of course, we already got 2 teams. You got New Orleans and the Jets are looking for head coaches anyway. They both have interim coaches. So
Jets just need to blow the whole thing up.
yeah,
In my opinion.
yeah. And then, like I said, does Deion get a job in the NFL if he wants it? I don't know. If he ends up, see now here's where you can. I look at the Giants. Let's take the Giants just as an example.
Sure.
And I got Dable on the hot seat. If they draft Shador, and they then have the opportunity to replace Dable with Deion, does Deion make that jump? I don't know.
I could see him doing that.
It could be
Is
interesting.
the NFL ready for Deion to come back?
As a head coach.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was kind of polarizing as a player, so as a coach.
Yeah, who knows? And I'll be interested. Robert Saleh, we talked about him on our last show because the Jets just got rid of him.
Yeah.
Last time we met.
Yep.
Does he get another shot? Does he just end up as a defensive coordinator somewhere?
Yeah.
And we're starting to see a lot of younger coaches anymore. The older coaches, you just not see them. I mean, Sean Payton's doing a nice job in Denver.
Yeah.
But you look at all these young guys that have come up through systems like from the Rams system, and those guys are getting shots and doing okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting how many end up open and how many are
It's
not.
been kind of a strange season, so it
Yeah.
could be very interesting once the season ends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how long will it take for the axe to fall
Right.
in a few places?
Black Monday, they call it usually.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go to our first break, we're going to come back in a moment and start talking about each division again. I have a trivia question. I'm
Oh.
going to throw it out to you two.
All right.
All righty.
Those of you at home, obviously, you can play along a little bit. Going into week 12, who is the season leader in passing yards right now as we enter week 12?
All right, so we have time to think
So you guys
about
have
this?
time to think about it. When we come back, one of our later segments,
Uh-huh.
I'll give you guys a chance to guess,
All right.
All right.
and then I'll throw
Those
the
of you at
answer
home, stay off Google. That's not fair.
Yardage? In yardage? Is that
Yardage.
what you're
in
with?
yardage, passing
Okay,
yardage.
All right.
So I'll give you a moment to think about it. Start scrambling your brains a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And we will be right back with a look at the North Division.
Hello, Jerry. Yeah. No, I'm just here in Wisconsin. Okay, right now? Okay, well, you're gonna have to go to the CBS website. Uh-huh. Okay. And do you have your login information? Okay, okay, so okay, why don't you go get it? I'll wait.
We're back. The gentlemen next to me are going to take a look at each of the divisions at this point in the season. I know, gentlemen, is a very
This is
loose
the second time
interpretation.
you said that in these videos.
She uses the term loosely, I'm sure.
I'm trying to be nice. You see what I'm working with. Let's start with the North Division.
Okay. Well, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
That whole division, it's down to 2 teams now, really. I mean, Kevin and Justin. And unfortunately, Rob and Ed, they were one of my preseason picks, and didn't happen for him. Sorry. Same with Mike Quinn. Both of us thought he was going to have a great year, and it didn't happen.
That Tua injury in Miami really cost him.
Yeah. Yep, it did. Absolutely. Because Tyreek Hill has been basically nothing this year.
Yeah.
Been absolutely nothing. If I were to go to each team, Janelle, I've got some surprises and fears for each team that I kind of like to go through. And John, you go ahead and throw things in too. So Kevin and Justin, they're separated by 1 standings point. So this is going to go down to the wire.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love to see this. Kevin's surprise of the year for me is Jaden Daniels having a great year as a rookie and picking up that Tracy kid from the Giants as a running back. He's been fantastic as a pickup.
Yeah, he's been
That's
great.
really good.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest fear for Kevin for the playoffs is Jaden Daniels getting hurt. Because his backup right now, he's got Marcus Mariota. That doesn't scream Kingman Fantasy Football League Championship quarterback to me. So if Daniels gets hurt, I kind of worry that Kevin might be out of those playoffs pretty darn quick as a result.
How many weeks are left?
We have 3 weeks of the regular season
3 weeks
left.
of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Now with Justin, biggest surprise for me, Kyler Murray, he's a top 5 quarterback this year. He's had a really good season, very quietly. He's putting up the points and everything. And he picked up Darnell Mooney off the waiver wire like in week 2 or week 3.
Yeah.
And we all were like, what? That crappy guy from the Bears? I didn't even know he was on the Falcons when he picked him up.
Yeah.
And he's been great.
Yeah, he's having a career year.
Fantastic. But my biggest fear for Justin is another running back injury could mean he's toast because he's already got Mr. Zach Moss on the IR basically. He hasn't replaced him yet. So he's got Montgomery and Swift, and that's it at running back. And if one of them goes down, at this point of the season, it's going to be hard to replace a running back. So go ahead.
No, and we're past the trade deadline.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Trying to pick somebody up like that is tough.
Now, with Rob and Ed, my biggest surprise for them is C.J. Stroud had a really poor sophomore season. He went down.
Yeah.
And that happens. That happens to players, of
Sophomore
course.
slump.
Yeah, and of course they were hurt bad with Pacheco and Mike Evans getting hurt, too. That did not help. Did not help at all. And my biggest fear for them is I don't like their franchise player choices right now. And they've got players to choose from, but they're either expensive or, really? This is the guy you want to build on for next year? I don't know. That's just me. Sorry, Rob. Sorry, Ed. Maybe you think different. That's fine. With Quinn, my biggest surprise is his team's really good on paper, but injuries to his players and their support, their quarterbacks, like you said, with Tua and whatnot, have killed him. It just has. Otherwise, his team's really good on paper.
Except, Monster has really taken a back seat.
Yeah.
Achain has been the big guy there, and they got the Wilson kid there, and I don't know, Mossert is kind of really fallen off the charts there.
Yeah, they haven't used him as much. But I mean, Taylor's been out for a good portion of the season. We already talked about Tyreek Hill. Engram's got Trevor Lawrence throwing to him when he's healthy. Olave keeps getting banged up. Sam Laporta has been playing only half the season. It's a great team on paper, Mike.
Yeah.
It is. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then Michael and Mike, well, they're mathematically not eliminated yet. If you read my email, they still could make the playoffs. It's a real long shot, but they could do it. But just about every team, every player on his team, they underperformed. They really did. That was the big surprise for me because their team wasn't terrible. You know, Dak gets hurt. That didn't help. The running backs got hurt. Receivers got hurt or didn't play, and he's changed a bunch of guys too. But my biggest fear is they got Cooper Kupp for next year, and he already said they're probably going to franchise him. They can build around Cooper Kupp with a good price on him and around other players around him. They could be back next year. 1-10, that's disappointing. Sorry guys, but we've all been through that.
Oh yeah.
Every single one of us in the league have had a terrible season
Yeah.
like this. Every one of us.
Very doable.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you got, John?
You know what? I love. We talked. One of the things I talked about at the start of the year was that I could see some of these divisions going down to the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's going to go down to the last week. I
Yes,
love it.
it is.
It gives at least those two really something to really work towards and work for, and not just kind of throw the season away. So, with only 3 weeks to go, I can't wait to see how that one's going to finish.
It's going to be interesting.
And it is exciting for me because Justin hasn't always had the most success, and so to see him as a young owner to battle for a division against a defending champion like Kevin is great. I love that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it too. I said Rob and Ed aren't out of it yet because Evans is coming back. He should be back this week, the way it seems. And Pacheco, I think they said next week.
Oh, okay.
So
Things could get really interesting.
Yeah, his guy should be coming back. Well, week 12. So
yeah.
All right.
This is week 12. So this week then.
Yeah.
this
this
week
week?
or next week.
Yeah.
Is the one
Nice.
they thought he's going to come back from that broken
right.
leg. So.
Yeah. What do you got to add?
I don't follow it like you guys do.
Figured I'd bring it up just in case you wanted to say something.
Nope, I'm good on that. All right.
You can save it for my division. You'll have plenty to say then, I'm sure.
In a moment, the guys will take a look at the Central Division.
Okay, so you got your login. All right. Well, I don't know what your password is. I don't know what your password is, Jerry. I've got an idea. Try Derek Jeter. No. Try Whitey Ford. No. Try Mariano Rivera. No. Try
All right, we're back, and the guys, notice I didn't say gentlemen this time, are going to take a closer look at the
I know,
Central
right?
Division.
Yeah. All right, Central Division. You're be part of this one anyway.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
But anyway, when you look, this whole division could be in the playoffs.
right
Before
now
it's all
they
said and
right now
done.
they are.
Right, which is amazing. The whole division's in. It's going to take a huge effort by Greg to catch you in the next 3 weeks out of that thing, and so I think you're going to end up with you'll end up with the number 1 seed overall. I think the scary part when I start looking ahead is Greg's having the kind of year, all around year, that makes him a real threat down the stretch. I mean, he won Guillotine, DFS, and all those kind of things. He's just running through all of those, and so it's just the momentum that he's got going in the whole thing that is amazing to me.
I think Greg spent some money on some subscriber services somewhere or something. He's getting all these insider tidbits somewhere. That's why he's kicking our butts, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with all that.
But you know what? It's a strong division. They're beating everybody else, and they're point totals are always good. And so, you know, I don't know. I don't think we've ever had an entire division that have been in the playoffs
I do
before.
not believe so.
And
no.
so, I mean, we got 3 weeks and things could change a little bit, especially at the bottom of that, you know, with Steve and Matt and BJ and Scott yet. Those numbers are still, you know, not that far off. But it's conceivable that that whole Central Division is in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting to see it that way.
I worry about you having the number 1 seed, though. You and I have talked about it for years in baseball and everything else. Kiss of death. And the 1 seed often does not work out.
Well, if you look at us historically, yep, that's absolutely true.
And selfishly, I don't want you cussing and moaning because you went down as the 1 seed.
Well,
There you go.
It's already difficult watching football in this house. Come on.
can we get a new co-host? Okay, here's what I got to say about my own division. So yeah, I'm in first place. Now my biggest surprise for my team is DJ Moore I acquired, and he did jack squat. He's done jack squat. It's been so bad, I had to go trading for other guys the last couple of weeks because I've been so disappointed with what he's been. When I acquired him, that's when Caleb Williams had just started showing some promise and starting to put some points on the board. And as soon as they picked him up, boom, down go the Bears. It's like they didn't do anything. Dan picked up DJ Moore, we better stop playing ball now. And then my other biggest surprise is Damon traded me James Cook. I couldn't believe. I gave him a list of 4 players or so to choose from, and I didn't think he picked Romeo Dobbs. And I'm like, okay, yes, I'll take that deal.
Especially when I talked to Damon a few weeks ago about trading me Cook, and he's like, yeah, there's no way.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I did not know
I
that.
wonder what changed.
Yeah, well.
And all of a sudden he's like, brotherly love.
Well, the reason the reason I brought him up with Cook was like, well, Damon, you can't keep him next year anyways. You're out of the playoffs anyways. Might as well get something for next year. I didn't think he'd take Dobbs. I thought he'd take Keon Coleman or, but whatever. Okay. Now, my biggest fear, you already touched on it, getting knocked out in the first round because it happens so often in our league. It just does. So that's my biggest fear.
Okay.
With Greg, he survived this season with injuries to McCaffrey and Puka, his 2 franchise players. And he's got Barkley having a career year again, which, and you already touched on it. He's been just fantastic everywhere. So it's a surprise because he's just been so dominant. Last year he was dominant, but this year he's even more so, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest fear for Greg, he's one of the teams to beat, but his receivers could be his downfall. He's got Pierce, Pearsall, Bowers, Jennings, and Puka. All right, you got Puka, great. Jennings has had some good games, some not, with Ayuk out. And then the other 3 is hit and miss. Pierce, okay, if Richardson decides to throw the ball well, okay, great. But if not, Pearsall, okay, he's had 1 good game since he came back from getting shot. And then Bowers, okay, he's been fantastic up in Vegas, but their quarterback situation, again, is just kind of... and then you touch on him with the coaching, too. So, who knows?
Yep.
But otherwise, Greg's in great position, like you said. I don't know if he'll catch me or not. I'm sure he's ticked off that he keeps getting all the good scores and he can't make any ground on me because I'm doing just as well. Yep. Scott and BJ, my big surprise for them is Joe Burrow carrying them all the way. And I was surprised that they didn't deal Justin Herbert for something. I thought maybe they could deal him, because they have 3 quarterbacks there. I thought maybe they could deal him and maybe improve something, I don't know what, running back or receiver maybe, and just to get that extra oomph, because Herbert's hot right now. He's been really good for the last 5 weeks since the Chargers decided that they would pass the ball a lot more often. So I thought they could maybe use that, but it didn't happen.
You know, and Jerry would have been the right candidate, right? Jerry talked last week about trying to trade away Derrick Henry to get a quarterback. That would have been a nice. I mean, that's kind of a matchup that could have been made pretty quick and easy.
Yes, I agree. My biggest fear for BJ and Scott are their receivers could probably disappoint in the playoffs. Just Keenan Allen, again, Chicago. Keenan Allen's on Chicago. You don't know what you're going to get. And it's been pretty crummy. Josh Downs with Richardson throwing the ball. Don't know what you're going to get. McConkey I like. Kareem Hunt, he's a running back, but he's in his flex spot. But All right, and then I got on Steve and Matt as I turn my page of my notes. Sorry about that.
Try to turn your page.
As I try, I can't do it apparently. There we go. My biggest surprise, their 5-game win streak they're on right now has saved their season. They were out of it like 5 weeks ago, and we were all talking on the last video of how disappointing they've been. And now they've won 5 straight, and they're right back in things. And I'm still surprised that their receivers have not dominated the season, because we talked about that at the beginning, that, oh my gosh, Steve's team is stacked. Oh my gosh, they're so good. And they didn't do anything. They haven't done anything.
Well, and for him, the disappointment is Marvin Harrison Jr. We thought he was going to have a great season in Arizona, and they yet have to figure out how to consistently get him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have a good week, and then he's off for 4 weeks.
Right.
You know, so for the consistency standpoint, Harrison Jr. has been a disappointment for him. I know he has been.
Devontae Adams, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, the Jets traded for him and to be with Rodgers, and he still hasn't really done much in there yet. Not at all.
Well, the Jets are kind of a mess, so.
Yeah. Now, Steve and Matt, my biggest fear for them is their quarterbacks, Winston and Cousins. They could flounder in the playoffs, assuming Steve and them, because I don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
And he might pick the wrong. And Cousins started off like gangbusters, and the last couple of weeks, I mean, Denver completely shut him down last week, going into a bye week.
Yeah.
They're like, what? And then Jameis Winston and Cleveland. Well, who knows what you're going to get with them, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I got.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add
Nope,
there, John?
that's what I got.
All right. Well, go damn. 2 divisions down, 1 to go. When we come back, they'll take a look at the South.
Try Mickey Mantle 7. Try Go Yankees Go. Try Teresa is the greatest. I don't know. I know that's not Yankee affiliated, but okay. Try Red Sox Suck 95. Try
All right, we're back. 1 division left. The South.
Hey, all right. Well, this has been the biggest blowout division we got, really. I mean, you'd think me and Greg, are blowing everybody, but we're not. But Steve Solano has been just dominant this year in that division. It's been really good. I mean, he's got a 41-point lead in the standings, so he's pretty much going to seal up that division.
Is this
title.
his second season?
Second season, yep.
Yeah,
and he made the playoffs last year as the 8th seed. He's going to get the 2 or the 3 this year.
Okay.
Good for him. My biggest surprise for him is Baker Mayfield has been a top 5 quarterback, and he's used him a lot more than Jared Goff, which was one of his franchise players.
Yeah.
So that kind of surprised me a little bit. And then, of course, Joe Mixon having a career year. I mean, I know we were talking about that at Monday with Kevin. How, excuse me, Kevin used to have Mixon for years and years, and when he's with the Bengals, and he never did anything remotely close to this.
Yeah.
So
Change scenery helped Joe Mixon a
it
lot.
sure did.
Wow.
A better offensive line helps too.
Yeah.
My biggest fear for Steve is his quarterback play maybe drops off after Detroit clinches. Because they're probably going to clinch a division playoff spot, whatever,
They should,
number
yeah.
1 seed in the NFC, and maybe Goff might not play very much in like a potential title game here for us.
Yeah.
And then Tampa with Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers kind of been down lately. Maybe he might not play as well. So that could, hurt Steve in the playoffs potentially. It's my thought, my biggest fear there. All right, the big guy right next to me, Mr. John Venegay, at 3-8 on the year. He's a playoff team right now. Isn't that amazing, Jenelle? But we talked about that in my email this week. You put up points every week. 180, 190, 200, 180, 190. Even though you're losing some games, this is some bad luck. And it's continued, but you're still there. You're still in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, well, and I talked about this with a non-football follower the other day of my wife.
Oh, well.
But part of me, and you know me, I'm never giving up. But part of me says I would rather be the first team out of the playoffs in the toilet bowl because I can score points, but everybody I play beats me.
Yeah.
So to be in the playoffs and score points and get beat doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, but hopefully some of these people get it together and I can run a few good weeks together.
Yeah.
One of the notes I made overall was these last couple of playoff spots, 7-8 seed, is really coming down to matchups in these last 3 weeks. It's really what it's going to come down to.
Yep.
So, because there's a lot of teams at 96, 91, 92 in that point range for those last couple of spots.
Yes, sir.
Kind of right where I am.
Yes, sir. You got that right. Now, and Cortland Sutton has been coming around. And that's another big surprise because he's been kind of, and it helps that the quarterback play in Denver is also came around.
Yeah,
which
long
is
way,
really
right?
helpful.
Bo
Yes,
Nix has really started to
absolutely,
play good ball.
absolutely. Now, my big fear for you, John, is players from the losing teams that are on your roster.
Yeah.
Might start playing worse in December because they don't really care anymore because
Right.
the season's over.
Yeah.
And that might
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah. And taking Bigsby didn't help me either.
No, I know, right? Our trade was a wash. We were both so excited about it.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything. All right. Mr. Jerry Palazzolo. My biggest surprise, he didn't trade Derrick Henry.
I was more surprised he wanted to trade Derrick Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought for sure he would, jump all over some of those offers that we were giving him. But
Yeah.
whatever. And it's still surprising me his receivers are really good, but they're just not doing enough.
Right.
Now, he's got good receivers. That's nice. I think. Now he's right behind you in the playoffs and the hunt. I think his quarterback play is going to kill his playoff chances. He's going with Tommy DeVito this week.
Yeah.
And Lawrence. I don't know if Lawrence is on a bye, so he can't play anyways. But he's going with DeVito, and
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But that could kill Jerry's in the playoffs there. Mr. John and Mr. Roland, despite Josh Allen and Kyron Williams, their team has really underperformed, I felt, the whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, Allen's been fine, and Williams has scored like every week, but, Jalen Waddle, okay, same thing. Tua has been out, so he's been nothing. McLaurin, he's got Jaden Daniels throwing him the ball, and he scored 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago, but they're just short little ones. He hasn't had those breakout, consecutive weeks of 100 yards and 3 scores over those 2 weeks or anything like that. He's just been kind of, play. Tank Dell's been a disappointment.
Tank Dell's been huge disappointment. I thought he was going to come back and really pick up where he left off last year, but that does not happen.
It has not happened, no. So my big fear for John Roll is their team keeps that underperforming level and just knocks them out because they're right on that cusp of the playoffs too. So, yeah. And then Mr. Damon and Miss Brooke. Damon and Brooke have had a poor season, and except for Chuba Hubbard when they picked him up, they really haven't improved much of their team. And the players really played below expectations in my book. We talked early in the season how we thought they should improve running backs, and they did with Chuba, and I guess they get Quentin Johnston too, but he only had him a couple weeks. And I don't know. I had a lot of high hopes for those guys, and it just didn't happen. I really thought they would have traded Mahomes or Purdy and try to get something else also, and just go, okay, we're going with Mahomes, and here's we go. Here's Purdy's on the market, but it didn't happen. That's right. But that's probably one of my biggest fears, that they're probably going to keep Mahomes for next year. So if they do that, keep Mahomes, don't spend another $30 on another quarterback, and actually use that money to improve their team other places.
In other positions,
they could be pretty good next year.
Yep.
But we'll have to see.
Okay.
So
All right.
playoffs are around the corner.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Hard to believe. All right, that's the 3 divisions. Before we continue with discussion of the Fantasy League and the NFL, we're going to come back after the break and talk about the things that are bugging us.
Oh, yes.
In a segment we like to call Scams.
Oh, this is one of my favorite sections.
Hey fans, this is Commissioner Dan Poppy. In this economy, it's hard to get to Monday Night Football sometimes. That's why we're coming up with better reasons for you to come out and support the rest of the league. We invite you to come out next Monday night for the annual Kingman Fantasy Football Chicken Wing Eating Contest. Several of your fellow league mates and perhaps some random strangers will shovel wing after wing into their pie holes in an effort to be crowned KFFL Eating Champion. And one lucky attendee will receive $5 cash if the last place contestant reaches 20 wings consumed. This is just one way we're trying to win our owners back in this recession. Stay tuned for more. Kingman Fantasy Football League. Aren't we great?
I hope we're the #1 rated fantasy football review show on YouTube.
Ratings are going up.
We got 2 followers, folks. We are flying.
One of our videos has like 50 views or something.
No.
Poppy Seeds Thanksgiving Show is brought to you by the Kingman Fantasy Football League. Kingman Fantasy Football. Aren't we great?
Alright, we're back for a little bit of a break from discussing football and fantasy league. You know those things that bug you and just sometimes out of nowhere. Time to talk about the things that have been bugging us and
Yep.
what we call our scams.
Yep, scams.
So I guess I'm going to go first.
All right, go first. Give us your
So,
list.
going back to our trip back in April to Arkansas for the solar eclipse,
I don't know where you're going.
as we were driving, I think we were on our way to Arkansas, going through Texas,
Oh, I do know where you're going with this. Yep.
so-called rest areas. You know, growing up in the Midwest, a rest area has restrooms.
Mhm.
You know, nowadays a place to walk your dog, all that kind of stuff. Texas, however, rest areas are apparently a place to pull off. And that's it.
Yep.
There's no restrooms
Yep.
in Texas rest areas.
That was on my list too. I'm looking at you, North Texas.
That makes zero sense to me.
I know, and we both had to use the restroom too. So we're like, "What do you mean there's no restrooms here?" I remember that. Yep. I
It's
couldn't
a little
believe that either.
frustrating when you're on a road trip.
It just didn't make any sense.
Watching ball games this summer. There's a fascination with the broadcast with this. The cup snakes in the bleachers. Kevin, Wrigley Field, yep. I go to a ball game, I really don't care about stacking up all the plastic cups and seeing how long of a cup snake you can make. I'm there to watch the ball game. I'm at home watching the ball game, not the cup snake that's growing in the outfield bleachers. Time to move on from that. Something that's becoming even bigger, especially with football season. We've got Black Friday, we've got Christmas Day games. TV broadcast contracts, exclusive broadcast contracts. Why? You're taking the broadcast away from the team's fans, from the sports fans, to get them to, what, buy another subscription to a streaming service? No, just put the games on TV and be done with it.
Yep. I agree with that one.
I have it right there. Games
Yeah.
on premium channel. Drive you crazy.
Just show the games and move on. Something from back in the summer, and got this idea from the same place we got the idea for this segment. At the Olympics, during the swimming events, I don't know if anybody noticed or if anybody was even watching the Olympic swimming events. They actually have lifeguards on duty during the swimming events. Not sure why that's needed. I'm your Olympic swimmer. I guess, you know, if you get a cramp or something, maybe, but you really need actual lifeguards on duty? Okay.
Yeah.
When we hear it talk about injuries, there's been a lot of injuries this year, some pretty severe ones. Why do they dress it up in the medical terms during the broadcast? Why are they telling us some guy got a contusion when most people don't know what a contusion is? Just call it a bruise. Just tell us it's a deep bone bruise. And that's it. Keep it simple. We're not medical professionals. We don't care about the medical terms. Just tell us what the injury is. Self-checkouts. I know here in Kingman, there was a long run of comments about all the self-checkouts at Walmart. There's a bunch of them at the grocery stores. are they really any better or faster? I mean, I can sometimes get through them faster than other people, but I'm impatient and I'm in a hurry and I want to get in and out of there as fast as I can. But do they really help? And when I go get groceries, and I'm there early because I don't like the crowds, and the only option is the self-check, it's a little frustrating when you have a full cart of groceries and you're stuck at the self-check and they don't have room for all of your bags.
Oh, how about the times when there's somebody in front of you and they don't know how to run the system? They don't know how to use it.
And the lanes are all backed up and you're behind somebody who's moving very slowly, yep.
Or the things that pop up, the little red light because they need the person to punch in a code to let you
Oh,
buy
and how often is that person not even paying attention?
Right.
Or
Way
how
too
about, how about the people that are shopping for online people? Especially at Walmart.
Oh.
They're in the way all the time.
Oh.
Well, I
gosh.
had one that just this morning. She had not one but 2 orders in her cart. And so she's looking at her list, separating the items from her cart so they get run up correctly.
Wow.
And I figured out what she was doing because of the conversation. She's apparently been in there pretty regularly. The cashier knew her. Junk mail. We're supposedly becoming more eco-friendly. We're trying to take care of our planet, although it might be a little too late. But all these mailers and flyers that require paper that just go in the trash because most of us don't care. So how is that being eco-friendly? I get it. You want to get your business out there. There's better ways to do it. And then one I added just off of last night. I don't know how many of you watched the game last night, that lovely snow game. I remember saying to him how much I enjoy being able to watch that from a distance, not having to deal with that in person anymore. And then I saw that George Pickens not only got in another fight after the game, apparently he's having some issues, but then tries to blame the weather for Pittsburgh's loss.
What?
He said, well, Cleveland's terrible. We didn't lose because of Cleveland. We lost because of the weather. They played in the same weather, didn't they? How do you blame the weather for you losing when both teams are in the same conditions? And we see it in baseball all the time. Teams are looking ahead. Pittsburgh's obviously looking ahead. I don't know who they play the next week, but you got to focus on the team in front of you. Any team at any time can win a game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the conditions, doesn't matter their record. You can't overlook the bad teams just because they're 2 and whatever, or 3 and whatever Cleveland was last night. That's when you get caught.
Go ahead, John.
I could have done without the superimposed lines, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that last night. As if we couldn't quite tell.
All right, I'll start with some football ones. And the first one is league specific for us. I hate it when somebody gets hurt on Sunday, but they're not going to tell you anything until Tuesday.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
We hear everything on Tuesday, so we can't. Some of us don't make moves on Monday because we don't know how good or bad it is. So the Tuesday injury thing drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Also, injury choices. I'm tired of the 4 designations or 17 designations, whatever it is. They know, in or out.
Oh, yeah, they know.
They know. Don't give me this questionable, doubtful, game time decision
Probable,
crap. They know. In or
Mhm.
out. Change it. In or out. Drives me crazy. And then the other thing that drives me crazy, when teams have 3 and outs of less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, fast.
Drives me up a
There's
wall.
been a few
What
of
are
those
they
lately.
doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
3 and outs, 15 seconds off the clock. And most of the time, it's the team that's trying to get momentum back that does it.
Yeah.
It's like, what
Or
are you
late in the
doing?
game, there's been a few of those, yep.
Drives me crazy. All right, other sports things. You and I talked to Jerry a lot about soccer, right? He wants to open up the game.
Yes.
Well, and then I went to an SMU soccer game. I have suggestions, just for Jerry.
Oh, okay.
All right? If we have to stop play because you're faking an injury, you got to go out. Screw that. We're not stopping the game for you. You either get up and play, or if we got to stop
Get
it
off
for
the
you,
field.
you're off the field. You can come back in, but you got to get off.
Yeah, okay.
Now we'll see how many fake injuries there are.
Uh-huh.
You got to sit out. And then, goalie, get rid of the damn ball. I don't know, if you ever watch a soccer match, that goalie holds the ball for like 2 minutes. It feels like forever.
Uh-huh.
There's a rule. It just doesn't get enforced.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They got to get rid of it.
I didn't know that.
So goalies got to get rid of that. And then horses and jockeys that don't know how they're supposed to finish in a race. That drives me crazy. We've tried it. We try to tell them. They don't listen.
They don't listen to us.
Drives me crazy. All right. Other things that drive me crazy. People that pay extra to board planes and then they look at you with a disgust look on your face when you say you got to sit inside of them.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yep.
You
They
do
do.
go on when you go on, but
They
they
do
paid
the
extra so
majority.
and they're sitting in that aisle seat and you say, I got to go in, and they look at you mad. Because now they got to get up and move out of your way.
Well, and you know what? Buy the whole row.
Yeah, you just want to punch them in the forehead. All right? Then, video games that advertise that we don't have any advertising on our video games that I play on my iPad.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Yet they interrupt every other damn game I have with their ad. Drives me crazy.
Yep.
You
I
say
have
no
got a
ads,
few
you
of
just
those.
want to interrupt everybody else.
Mhm.
Things that drive me crazy. Now, I have one suggestion, a fun idea for pro sports teams. If you go to a Green Bay Packers next week and you buy an authentic Jordan Love jersey, it's going to cost you $250, $350.
Yep.
You know what? You should get something that says you get to meet him after the game.
Ooh.
Oh.
Afterwards, you go down to the bottom, and
Uh-huh.
he can autograph that jersey, or you can just say hi, have your picture taken with him. But if you, as the person buying that jersey, going to spend that much money,
There should be something else.
there should be something at the end.
But only the authentic.
Only the authentic.
Yeah, okay.
Not a T-shirt with a guy's name on
Right,
it. No,
right.
you buy an authentic jersey, and you spend that kind of money, you go down and you get to meet
You
that
spend
person.
that kind of money, it should come off of the player's back after the game.
So, but I think if teams would do that, I think they sell more authentic jerseys.
I think they would too. Yeah,
They just
absolutely.
might.
Yeah.
So, but it'd be a fun
Interesting.
idea to try with the
That
team.
would be
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be cool.
Right?
All right.
All right,
All
your
right,
turn.
Dan.
My turn. All right. Serving sizes of food. All right. Now we all know that 4 M&Ms is not a serving of M&Ms.
Definitely
Sorry. I don't care what the label says, John. Nobody is following the serving size of, a bowl of cereal. I'm loading up my bowl of my Fruit Loops. I don't care what the box says or anything. Yeah, my chocolate milk. Hey, I'm gonna fill up this big 32-ounce cup of milk because that's what I want to drink. Damn serving size is telling me what to do. All right, now that kind of goes with Uber Eats also, because that's a scam right there. Get off your lazy butt and go buy your own food yourself. What on earth are you doing? Sending some stranger to go pick up your food that you ordered online. Who knows what the hell they're doing with it, how many times they dropped it on the pavement or anything like that. Go get your own damn food. This is the lazy people from, Wall-E. We're becoming those lazy, fat people in
Okay,
Wall-E.
the
They're just
floating
laying.
chairs, yeah.
Yes, that's what we're becoming, right, John?
You ought to see the number of cars that come into my parking lot on a daily basis at school.
I would have
People
done
with their orders, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I'm not
And
surprised.
it's costing, you're pretty much doubling the cost of your food.
I've
when
heard
you
the
order
delivery
Yeah.
Uber
service.
Eats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just Uber Eats, just any of those services, by the way. I'm just calling them out just because that was the first one that came to mind. All right, movie start times. All right, now, I don't mind trailers. I enjoy movie trailers, but I don't like sitting through 9 of them. Start the damn movie, would ya? I've got a life.
Wait a minute. You don't like watching trailers
Well, that's true. I don't
and
usually.
commercials? You're usually la 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 la.
Only if it's a movie I really want to see in a movie theater that I'll do that. Most of the time, I don't see movies in 3-4 years anyways, until it's free on HBO, free preview or something like that. So,
But now Wicked's out, you're going to have to go.
no, I don't.
Oh, I know you do.
I will see it someday.
We will
I don't
see
know
it
when.
eventually, yes.
All right. I'm sure we all agree with this one. Turn your damn ringer off. Would you please? We don't need to hear your ringtone going off in the middle of whatever it is, the store, whatever. The people that talk over speakerphone in the middle of wherever.
Yep.
So we
Phone
have to hear
etiquette.
your entire conversation.
Yep.
Stop. We don't want to hear it.
Yep.
Stop.
A few weeks ago, I was at my allergy shots, and there was somebody talking on his phone, and somebody else tried to point out his lack of phone etiquette. Like, I got pissed at him.
It's like, come on. you know.
Let me have my conversation. Never mind.
I understand if you want to do that at home, okay.
Yeah.
But in your public, come on. I'm not
Yep.
done. All right, Jerry does this, and I don't know about you, I don't, but driving out of your way just to save a little bit of money on gasoline for your car. Okay, it's 20 cents cheaper out over in Golden Valley or over in Bullhead City. Let's go gas up over there. You just blew your overhead driving over there. What are you doing? Oh, you saved $1.50 total. Oh boy.
Not really.
Come on now, unless you're really, really scraping for money, it's not worth it. You are just,
Or you
it's,
happen to be going that way for something else.
okay, that. But the people just specifically, oh, I'm going to go fill it for gas, and they drive 40 miles to save 10 cents a gallon.
Mhm.
Come on now. Halftime contests, such as the, I won't say the name of the soft drink, but it rhymes with Dr. Epper, and their little halftime football tosses they have.
They don't even throw like a
I know,
football.
they're trying to get as many throws in. If you're gonna do a contest, at least make it legitimate when you gotta throw the ball the right way, at least. Do it so,
Make it something like Pat McAfee's kick
there you
contest on
go.
Saturdays.
Up the stakes and the
Yep.
prize money or whatever,
Yep.
but they gotta legitimately
legitimate.
throw it.
Yep.
Or something. Or put a guy in their face and they gotta avoid the guy or something like that. I don't know. Alright. The NFL MVP / the Heisman Trophy winners are almost always quarterbacks. It's just amazing. Why don't we just call it the Best Quarterback of the Year award and move on, give an MVP for running backs, an MVP for receivers. It's almost always a quarterback, so why even bother?
Yep.
Why even bother? I just don't get that. Auto insurance. Like a good neighbor? I don't think so. One accident, your premium goes through the roof. It's the biggest scam ever. I pay years. Now, I've never had a big accident that I've had to worry about, but I know Jerry has, and I know other people have. Damon, yep. And, okay, you pay for years and years, your premiums, you're doing great. You pay all this money, thousands of dollars over 10, 20, 30 years. You have one accident, all of a sudden you got to pay $600 a month. It's like, come on now. That is a huge scam, insurance companies. Health insurance is a whole nother story. But auto insurance, figure it out, fix it. Okay, there we go. And let's see. The speed pitch contest at the ballpark. Have you ever done one of those, Jenelle?
Once upon a time, a long time ago.
John? No. I've never either. But it seems so stupid. You got this teenager that they hired to watch the contest. He doesn't care anyways. And the people are blowing their shoulders out, trying to throw it and impress their girlfriends or whatever. Scam. Stop it. Stop it. You're ruining people's arms. Stop it. All right? Corvettes.
I don't own one.
I don't either. I never will.
I don't want one.
You know why I think it's a big scam? Because all these midlife crisis people that buy these Corvettes, they think they're hot stuff, but they're too damn old to get down low enough to get into the car, and then they can't get back out of it either. What are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense to me. All right, and then my last one was the restrooms in North Texas too. We already dealt with that. I couldn't believe that either. It's like, oh, here's a pull-off so we can watch tornadoes or something. I didn't get it. There was no reason.
Well, that was the other thing that bothered me about their rest areas. Signs saying tornado safety area. So if you had to pull off because of a storm, that kind of worried me.
No, we didn't.
Tornado shelter.
Yeah, did we pull over? Was there an actual shelter? You
No.
go underground and stuff?
I don't know, but I remember seeing the signs. I think it was my turn to drive, and you were closing your eyes for a little bit, and I saw it, and that kind of. I'm not sure I want to be driving through there if I have to worry about a place for a tornado shelter.
Right.
So. All right. Anything else?
I'm just getting started. No, I'm just kidding. That's all for this episode.
All right. We'll give them a chance to calm down, especially this one. When we come back, they'll take a look at their preseason predictions and see hit or miss, way off, close. And I'll also have that trivia answer for you in just a moment.
JenelleSews.com is now open. Specializing in crochet and cross-stitch, Jenelle will get a project done for you. Yes, this busybody woman will make your whole home full of these little critters. Just $49.95 will get these magical hands working while you wait. Visit JenelleSews.com now. Allow 8 to 10 weeks per project. Each project will also include cussing, screaming, starting over, and quitting for days at a time. Each project includes a $10 aggravation fee to cover these issues. JenelleSews.com. So what?
All right, we are nearing the end of this month's show, I guess. I almost said this year.
Thank God. It's been a long one.
Yeah, it has. Back at the beginning of the show, I threw a trivia question out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to throw it out there again and see what you guys think, and I will reveal the answer. The question today, going into week 12, who is the current leader in passing. Current quarterback leader in passing as we enter week 12.
Yardage.
In yardage?
In yardage.
All right.
Okay, what do you think? I've got the top 3 here.
Well, let's see. The last time you mentioned this, it was Geno Smith in Seattle was leading the league in passing.
I believe he has dropped to 4th.
Okay.
All
If I
right.
remember right.
I'll throw it out there, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I'll throw
That's a
out
good
there.
choice. I like that choice.
I'll throw out there. Boy, I want to say Lamar Jackson, but I don't think that's him.
I think Kyler Murray is up there.
Ooh, that's a
Okay.
good guess. How about Brock Purdy?
Okay. All right. Number 3 going into week 12. Kirk Cousins at 2,807.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, he's been crummy the last few weeks. That's surprising.
In second, Lamar Jackson,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
2,876.
Thank you, Zay Flowers.
And in first, going into week 12, cool Joe Burrow.
It is Joe Burrow.
3,028
Yeah.
as we enter week
Okay.
12.
I'm surprised Geno dropped all the way to 4th.
I think that's where I saw him
Wow.
on the list. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now
Ah.
that Joe's got both Chase and Higgins,
Higgins, yeah.
it makes a big difference for
Yeah,
him.
it has made a big difference for
Yeah.
him. All right, our final segment today before we wrap up this episode, you're going to take a look at your preseason predictions. See if you're on, you're off, you're close, you're
Okay.
way
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
in the parking lot somewhere.
All right. Well, during that preseason show, we had a couple little mini segments. First thing we said was, who was our surprise team? Okay. Now, I said Justin. Ding,
Turned out
ding,
pretty good,
ding,
yeah.
ding, ding. I
Yeah.
won. All right.
Yeah.
John, your answer was Steve Solano and
He's
Mike
also
Quinn.
doing well.
Okay.
So 1 out of 2.
Yeah. Solano's working.
Yep. Then we did biggest disappointment, and both of us agreed on Damon and Brooke. So I think we kind of hit that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Then division by division. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
So we basically both said the same thing in this. So we both said Quinn and Rob in the North Division being the playoff teams.
Wow.
Whoops.
Yep.
And we had Prime, Kevin, Justin at the bottom.
Well, Brian's there.
Yep. But Prime was ahead of Justin and Kevin, so
Yeah.
we were a little off on
A
that.
little bit.
In the Central, we nailed it. We had Dan, Greg, Steve and Matt, Scott and BJ. Boom, 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 boom. And that's the order they're in.
All right. Good.
Why
we
don't
nailed
you
it.
have that kind of luck when you guys go down to the river?
I just said the horses don't know I'm supposed to finish. I guess that's why. The jockeys and horses
just
forget
like-
what they're supposed to be
Just
doing.
like college to pro, it doesn't translate.
That's right.
Oh man. That's good. In the South, we both had John and Roland in the playoffs, and you in the playoffs, and then you threw Steve Solano in as well, and then Damon and Brooke and Jerry we both had out. So we kind of got our preseason predictions,
kind of
you know,
in
about
there, yeah.
about 50-50 or so. You know, not
And I
too
predicted
shabby.
Jerry would be gone by Thanksgiving.
You did, and you got
Yes,
that
you
right.
did.
I was way off on that one. All right. Now, we already talked on this one. You made a prediction that each division would come down to the final 2 weeks. And it pretty much is.
Yeah.
Maybe not the South, but,
Yeah.
you know. And then you also said teams would be at 500 or better for the most part. And there wouldn't be any of those 2 and 12 teams.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one. We still could finish better than 2 and 12.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, we
But
could.
so our predictions weren't terrible.
And when you think about it, hitting 500, that's pretty good in
It's a
baseball.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not bad, gentlemen.
In
not
slow
bad.
pitch, you stink.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Again, depending on your setting, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Anything you'd like to add on that?
No, but you know, it's.
Okay, that's our show.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, wait.
I don't see, as I look at things and I've watched things, I know you're worried about the number 1 seed, but in the first round, I don't know if I see any upsets happening. You guys that are leading your divisions have consistently put up good numbers week to week. It's not like all of a sudden 1 week you're scoring 270 and then the next week you're scoring 95.
I couldn't believe it when I looked at my numbers for the year.
Yeah.
My low score is 155, and that was 1 week
Yeah.
Every other week has been 175 or higher.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
And so
I hope you didn't just jinx yourself.
I know, right? Oh gosh.
But you guys that have been at the top have been there all year scoring wise.
Yeah.
So it's so the teams that are in first or close to first, it's not surprising considering the numbers that you've been able to put up week after week after week. So it wouldn't surprise me if in the first week of the playoffs it just goes according to Hoyle.
Yeah. I worry that I'm going to end up facing you, and you're going to have one of those weeks that's just extraordinary and knock me out.
Right, and then the next week do nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always frustrating. Those number one seeds, they get knocked out by an 8 seed, and then the 8 seed just gets trampled the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got for that. So,
Okay.
when we come back, I've got some breaking news for you, the audience, and these two knuckleheads next to me. They're going to be blown out, their socks blown off. Come back after this.
In today's tough economy, everyone's looking for a great deal. How about this one? Now you can catch the best prices on the freshest meats, vegetables, and more at the latest installment of Piggly Wiggly's semi-regular runaway truck sale. Our driver's blunders can be a windfall for your family. Hurry now for the choicest cuts of more than 1,000 pounds of beef, pork, and chicken. We've got hundreds of cases of frozen food, plus countless fresh fruit and veggies, all in one location, and all for pennies on the dollar. Today's specials can be found on I-35 between milepost 192 and 193. There's plenty of free parking available at Dead Man's Curve Rest Area. Get there before the real vulture stops circling. You won't find prices this low until the next time one of our drivers falls asleep at the wheel. Register at PigglyWiggly.com to receive the latest runaway truck sale locations on your phone and mobile device. That's the Piggly Wiggly Runaway Truck Sale. Listen on your police scanner for a location near you.
All right, so blow our socks off. You promise.
Okay, actually, I wanted to announce this a few weeks ago when we were originally going to do our video, and I was also going to announce it at John and Roland's. As we all know, Jerry has moved to California, and I kind of decided I wanted to announce this when Jerry was still here. We just didn't get the chance to do it because when we got done looking at Roland's hot tub and everything like that and pool, Jerry took off.
Yeah, he was gone.
He was
already.
gone. So we didn't get to do it. I'd like to officially announce that the Kingman Fantasy Football League is going to rename the North Division to the Jerry Palazzolo Division. Since he always likes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, low hands at poker, I figure we got to name that division the Jerry Palazzolo Division. So starting next week, we're going to officially call it the Jerry Palazzolo Division. Congratulations, Jerry. You're now forever going to be a part of our league. Okay, that's the big breaking news.
Hopefully that doesn't kill the league.
Oh, gosh.
All
Do
right.
we have to put him automatically in that division next year?
Maybe. I don't know.
You might have to.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of thought that was a good idea.
That's great. I love
Yeah,
it.
I thought it was kind of cool. Maybe somebody will come up with some names for the other two divisions instead. The Travis Jury division or something. I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
you guys could come up with something.
I'm sure.
All right.
We have reached the end of another episode of Poppy Seeds.
Thank goodness.
It's time for the kneel down. So, gentlemen, Thanksgiving, less than a week away. Holiday season is upon us. Plans, thoughts? Let's wrap this up.
Go ahead, John.
No, I'm very excited. My son Eric and his girlfriend are coming for the week, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm disappointed in how many games are not on regular TV that we're gonna have to go hunt for
Oh, yeah.
over the weekend. But it's nice to have a week off of school, and then we got 3 weeks, and then we're at Christmas already.
Yeah, it's
We
gonna-
got 2 weeks
it's
of
gonna
Christmas,
fly.
so
It's
it's
gonna
gonna go
fly.
very, very quick. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody! I hope you have a great time. I hope you get to spend it with family.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I'm excited to be here on break. Like you said, a whole week off would be nice. Get healthy again. Jenelle and I are already talking about the fact that we haven't sang karaoke or anything for over a month because
It's been a while.
something's been going on, or we've been sick, or just had a
Yep.
bad, voice or whatever. And I'm really excited to get back to doing that. Maybe Monday, Tuesday after my voice has been healed for the weekend or whatever. And then, we get to cook a meal. That's always fun.
Mhm.
I don't have to document it with pictures all the time, but
No.
that would be good. But I'm happy that the good thing came with me being, kind of sick is I lost like 10 pounds. So that was kind of nice. It's been kind of nice that my clothes fit a little
Now
bit
you gotta
better.
keep it off.
I know. I did a good job not getting anything at the restaurants this morning. So that's good, like my usual.
That's true. Yeah, it's like John said, it's gonna go fast. I mean, second quarter for me as a teacher has always been the hardest quarter because of the holidays, and it flies. It just goes so fast. You have your concert coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We're going to TSO next Friday night up in Vegas, so I'm really looking forward to that. We haven't seen them in a
You
while.
better tell people what TSO is. They probably don't know.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, for those of you who don't know, think classical meets rock and roll. Amazing shows. You've probably heard the music and just didn't even know whose it was if you don't know them.
Yeah.
If you don't, look them up. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And like you said, having a chance to cook some turkey, you know I enjoy doing that. So, and a chance to relax for a week.
Yeah.
And in a couple weeks, we'll probably be back for the playoff show, won't we?
Yeah, a few weeks. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving all. If you're traveling, safe travels. Enjoy. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.